You are listening to the Supermom is Getting Tired podcast. I'm your host, Tori Henderson, and this is episode 170. All links and show notes can be found by going to lifecoachingforparents.com/170.
Welcome to the Supermom is Getting Tired podcast. This show is designed for moms who invest everything into parenting, but get overwhelmed, lost, and resentful. Listen and learn how to unburden yourself. Feel calm, full of energy, and in control. I'm your host, Master Certified Life Coach, teacher, and recovering supermom, Tori Henderson.
Hello, Supermoms. How are you? It is June by the time this podcast comes out, and summer is begun for most of you. Schools seem like most of my kids seem like they get out in May, not in June. So I hope that you had a wonderful end of year graduations and all the moving on ceremonies and all the craziness that May can bring. And I hope that you are enjoying maybe some slower paced days of summer and some beautiful weather. I am here in Boston today. I had beautiful weather yesterday and pouring down rain today. So I can not like that in California. It's pretty consistent out there. So that was kind of surprising to me. But I am here today to talk about how to be a fun mom instead of a nagging mom. So this question today is, I sort of combined two into one because they were so similar. And I'm sure there are a lot of you out there who want to know, how do I become a more fun and playful mom? Now, this question is going to be geared towards having a 13-year-old boy because, I love 13-year-old boys. But when they're your own 13-year-old boy, that can be somewhat challenging. And a lot of moms don't always have things in common with 13-year-old boys. I personally adore this age. That's why I taught it when I could. I hung out with, these pubescent kids as often as I could. But not everybody feels the way I do. So today's podcast is on how to turn off taskmaster mode so that I can have fun with my teenager. So the question reads, I'm pretty sure my kid is going to grow up and remember me as a nagging, grumpy taskmaster. He's barely 13 and our relationship is already on thin ice. On the rare occasions when I can relax and be silly with him, his whole demeanor changes and we get along great. He's fun. I know that my attitude affects him in mostly a negative way. I don't think of myself as a negative person. I relax, I have fun with friends and school and coworkers, and I'm a fun person. It's just that when I see my son, I see a walking to-do list. He might be telling me about his day at school, but in my head, I hear, okay, shoot, he needs to email the teacher about this. I'll need to buy poster board and glue sticks. Or I'll see him laying on the couch and think, oh my God, he needs to wash his feet. They are disgusting. But then he'll go wash his feet, come back to the couch, but I'm still in the same taskmaster mode. And I'm thinking, well, now he should clean his room and he needs to do his laundry. I don't see him as a playmate or someone to have fun with unless we're on vacation. So maybe I don't know how to have fun with a 13-year-old boy. But he responds so well when I'm silly and playful. I think we could both enjoy these years more if I could learn how to become a fun mom instead of a nagging mom. Okay, mama. Today's parent educator answer is to use your left brain to connect to your right. It's really hard to just snap your fingers and be like, okay, I'm going to be playful and silly. And nobody else around you is being playful and silly. It's really hard. But your self-awareness in this question is super impressive. I don't know if everybody could hear just how aware they were of having this conditioned response to mother him instead of play when you see him. You see that he responds well when you're light and playful. You want him to remember you as a fun mom, as well as a mom who gets things done. So your motivation to change is here. It just sounds like you aren't sure how to do it. So, how do you look at a kid with incomplete tasks, dirty feet, a messy room, and ignore all that and see him as someone to have fun with? How does one switch their brain from productive taskmaster mama to the relax and play brain channel that seems to be only reserved for vacations? Well, you've got to use your left brain to connect with your right. Play, creativity, and humor are all right brain activities. Productive taskmaster mama, that is going on in the left hemisphere of that brain. So I say we use that taskmaster left brain in order to access to the right. It's just easier if your brain doesn't normally jump to the right. Like if you were an Enneagram type 7 and you're listening to this, you could teach this. Okay. This comes naturally to you. You don't have to use it. But for the rest of us, we might need to use that left brain, that logical thinking in order to play and have fun. So first, you want to recognize that this is probably how you've organized your life for the last decade or two. You wake up in the morning with a question in your mind that goes, what needs to get done? And then you get to work accomplishing tasks. Once those tasks are complete, then you get to relax and maybe play and have a little fun. This technique might have worked for you in the past, but no adolescent wants to be seen as a walking to-do list. So we want to give your brain an update. We got to tell the brain you are no longer responsible for his feeding, dressing, personal hygiene, basic care. Like that's not on your shoulders anymore. He doesn't represent chores for you to complete. He's a little human looking to share his experiences with you. And so the brain can get stuck in the past because you've just spent the last 13 years caring for him. And even though he may have brought you fun and delight, it was still a lot of work, right? So it makes sense that you would still be in taskmaster mode, but it also makes sense of why you would want to change it and give your brain the update. Okay, mamas, I want you to listen to this. The reason you want your kids to finish all of their tasks is so that you can relax and then maybe find some fun. But instead of this work first, relax second habit, think about flowing between work and play in a more relaxed and playful way. Now, this might be like brand new to you. This might be something that you've never done since you were a child. But little kids do this naturally. Work and play naturally flow with one another. How do you get your kids to do the dishes? You fill up a sink with warm and bubbly water, and you let them play with the Tupperware and the spoons, right? How do you get them to take a bath? We make it fun. This is a more natural and less stressful way to live. It might be a luxury that you have not afforded yourself, but it really is a more enjoyable way to live if you can access it. I had a client whose son was planning his birthday celebration. It started out small, just an outing with a couple of friends, but then he started adding on people and activities. Like first we go bowling, then we meet up with more friends at the mall, and then we go paintballing, and then we go to pizza, and then we have a sleepover. And he kind of kept like adding on like people and things. Well, my client was getting stressed out by his enthusiastic planning, but instead of getting serious with him, she got silly and joined in. She said, oh, yeah, that sounds great. And then we'll get the whole seventh grade to pile into rented party buses and we'll all drive to Disneyland. Not only did he appreciate her lighthearted response, but he got the message that he was going overboard with his planning and she didn't have to be the like negative taskmaster, like, let's be realistic, because he understood by her just adding on to his enthusiastic planning. In the book, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk, Authors Faber and Maislish call this strategy giving your kids what they want in fantasy. It helps kids feel understood while not actually giving in to what they want, but they feel like you get it, but without having to tell them no. Another strategy this book gives is to use role playing to keep things light. When he's telling you about school and you're hearing a to-do list in your head, you can take out a yellow pad of paper and pretend you are his secretary and you're like, okay, so we need poster board and glue stick from the dollar store. Is there anything else I can do for you, sir? You can pretend to be his working for him and he's your boss and just sort of keep it lighthearted while also still being sort of left-brained and getting your to-do list written. If you see his dirty feet on the couch, you can try on a foreign accent, pretending to be a shocked and offended housekeeper or butler for the British royal family. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe the horror that I am witnessing in these dirty, filthy feet. How can you stand to do? And you can just sort of be silly but he gets the message, but without feeling like mom's just this naggy, negative Nelly. So one of the nice changes puberty brings to adolescents is their ability to understand sarcasm. Not everybody gets sarcasm, so please be sure not to offend your child, but see if this can be a fun way to add silliness to your parenting repertoire. You could say, oh, I know how hard it is for you to relax when your room is messy, so I'll just plop on the couch and keep your seat warm for you while you go tidy up. Someday you'll be a chilled out lazy bum like your mama. So saying the opposite of reality is going to throw him off guard and he's going to pick up on your silliness, but he's also going to pick up on the message that it's time to go clean the room. So giving them what they want in fantasy, using role playing to keep things light, and using sarcasm once they hit puberty, you get to start trying that out. I mean, some kids get it younger, some kids never get it. It's an interesting thing. But this idea that you can plan and prepare for playfulness is how we use the left brain to connect with you. You're right. You don't have to be in a lighthearted mood in order to create a lighthearted mood. I remember picking my kids up at school. It was not a joyful time. They would get in the car. There was no excitement and it was grumpy and exhausted and humor wasn't on anyone's minds. And I would sit in the car line and try and Google on my phone and look up a joke that I could tell them when they got into the car or find a silly video that I thought they would enjoy, something to shift the mood and lighten it up. So I used my serious left brain to help all of us shift into a more relaxed and playful state. So using the left brain, that logical, that planner, that researcher, to then maybe have some things in your repertoire, some humor, some jokes in your pocket, some activities that will help facilitate lightheartedness and humor to help you get what you want and achieve the goal that you want. So you don't have to be in a playful, lighthearted mood in order to create a playful, lighthearted mood. Okay, let's talk about today's life coaching answer. What gets in the way of using your left brain to access a more playful state of mind? Well, it's our gosh darn central nervous system. If our task list triggers a fight or flight response, it's going to be really hard to change that channel. The central nervous system acts like a traffic signal. Red is the freeze response. Yellow is the fight or flight response. And green is play, relax, social engagement, humor, silliness, lightheartedness. You get it. That's all in the green. That's what we're trying to get to, right? When we get overwhelmed by too many tasks or believe that there are dire consequences for not getting through our to-do list, this inner taskmaster isn't going anywhere. So, the top 5 most popular mantras that keep mom's central nervous system out of the green, relaxed play state are, and you guys can add to this list if you've got something that's different. Jump into the Super Moms Getting Tired Facebook group, and I want to hear your mantra for what keeps you in that fight or flight state when it comes to your to-do list. Okay. Number one, if I take my eye off the ball, something important will slip through the cracks. That thought keeps you in high alert. Number two, if I take time to rest and play, more work will pile up later. That is a huge obstacle to being more playful and fun if we believe that it's actually going to cause us more work and rob us of time. Number three, if I make light of this situation, my kid won't understand how important it is. I don't think that's true, but you can play it out and see. Test the waters. Number four, a good mom wouldn't allow this behavior. If I was a good mom, I would be strict. My child would be obedient. They would suffer the consequences of their misbehavior. Some people have this image of what a good mom, that a good mom is a strict disciplinarian, and this can prevent them from being playful and silly. And number five, if I don't address this small problem now, bigger problems will arise later. All of these thoughts are going to keep your brain in a fear response, like that this is serious business. It has to be addressed in a serious way, and there's no room for fun. Now, it takes time, attention, and a skilled life coach to help you let go of these ingrained beliefs, but the reward for your effort is a more playful, relaxed relationship with yourself as well as your kiddo. Today's Supermom Power Boost. Try this brainstorming activity at home and see if it helps you have more fun with your teenager. Again, we're going to use the left brain to access the right. So you're going to draw a Venn diagram. It could be two circles, one representing you and one representing your kid. Or you can do three circles if you want to include another parent in there. And you write your name and your kids' names in separate circles, and then list things that seem like fun to each of you. So you're going to put your fun activities in your circle, things that you like to do. And you're going to put things your child likes to do in their circle. Now, fun is a feeling, not an activity, but there are certain activities that help encourage us to be present, connected, and playful. So think of things you love to do. Think about the last time you said, that was really fun. And then kind of take notes, write them down, and look for themes. So these themes might show up like, it might be nature. Gosh, it seems like the last 3 times I really had a good time, I was outside. Or maybe there was an element of uncertainty or risk that ended up being really fun. Maybe you were intellectually stimulated and challenged. Perhaps there was a physical activity. Maybe you were exploring. Maybe you were teaching and demonstrating mastery, creating something new, something that didn't exist before from scratch, from your own ideas. Maybe you enjoyed collecting or talking about your collections. Maybe you were entertaining and performing. Maybe it was learning, strategizing, playing games. Whatever it is, try to get really general and look for the themes and then write them in your circle. You can be specific or you can be general. But then each of you has some things in each of your circle, and then see if there's any overlap. What can go in the middle? What activities do both you and your kid enjoy? And if you're looking and you're like, Tori, there is nothing that this 13-year-old boy and I both like doing, then just get less specific and go more general. If he likes wrestling and you like yoga, then your overlap could be physical activity. And from there, you might discover that maybe rock climbing is something you knew that you'd both like to try, but you never really thought about it before. Okay. So the overlap is things that you can both enjoy together. And so that you can have a few activities that both feel like fun to you and set the stage for more relaxation, more connection, more playfulness, and of course, the all important ability to be present in the moment. Today's quote of the day comes from Catherine Price, the author of The Power of Fun. If you would like to learn more about fun and kind of have it on your top of mind, kind of be thinking about it. You can listen to podcasts about fun. You can read Catherine Price's book about the power of fun. I really like the book Play by Dr. Stuart Brown, who researches play. So, Google them, put them in podcasts or YouTube and get it learn about it so that it kind of stays top of your mind. Today's quote of the day from Catherine is, "We can control whether we merely endure our days or experience and enjoy them. We can control whether we arrive on our deathbeds feeling like we've wasted our time or end up satisfied with how we've spent our brief moment in the sun." All right, super moms, I wish you loads of fun and silliness and lightheartedness. And if you need help getting there, you know where I am, lifecoachingforparents.com/work with me. And I will love you and leave you. Take care.
Want a free life coaching session? Go to lifecoachingforparents.com and schedule yours today. And thank you so much for listening. I would love it if you would subscribe and share these podcasts with your friends. If you have a question you'd like me to answer on the air, go to lifecoachingforparents.com/recordmyquestion, and you can send me a voicemail recording or write me an email, and I'll answer it on the air. Thanks again. Have a great day.